New Hampshire rental laws outline the rules in the state regarding lease agreements and evictions. We'll examine relevant laws for standard lease agreements, month-to-month lease agreements, and evictions. Standard lease agreement. A standard lease gives an overview of the terms between a landlord and tenant for the renting of property. A standard lease is commonly a one-year fixed period and is the most widely used rental contract. Month-to-month lease. A month-to-month lease is an agreement between a landlord and tenant that renews automatically every month and terminates upon notice by either party. In New Hampshire, the notice must be provided a minimum of 30 days prior to vacating. Required disclosures. In New Hampshire, the following disclosures are required to be included in the lease. Move-in checklist. A checklist documenting the current condition of the property must be completed within 5 days of occupancy. Security deposit receipt. Unless the tenant makes the security payment via check, the landlord must give a receipt stating the amount and financial institution where the money is being held. Landlord access. In New Hampshire, the landlord is required to provide reasonable notice before entering their property for repairs or any non-emergency reasons. Security deposit laws. In New Hampshire, the maximum amount a landlord can charge for security is 1 month's rent or $100, whichever is greater. The money must be returned to the tenant within 30 days of vacating unless the tenant shared the property with the landlord, in which case the landlord has 20 days to return the deposit. Eviction laws. There is one notice to quit for each eviction type in New Hampshire. Appropriate boxes can be checked for the following. Non-payment of rent. If the tenant is late on rent, they have 7 days to either pay the rent and penalties or vacate the property. A demand for rent is required to be attached to the notice to quit. Non-compliance. If the tenant breaks any other portion of their lease other than late rent, the landlord can issue a 30-day notice to either comply with the lease or vacate. If the tenant has received a demand notice 3 times in a 12-month period, he or she will not be able to cure the violation.